Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Thankful Thursday, November 21st, and welcome to another new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is a stand up comic, and he was referred to me through one of our Fashion Dolls, my girl, Noli. She introduced me to him. So, without further ado, Fashion Dolls, let's welcome to the dollhouse, Damon D.
Now, what's going on? What's good?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful in
I'm
yourself.
good. Can't complain. Can't complain. And look,
Welcome to the dollhouse. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
thank you for having me. And my name is
Yeah.
Damon.
Damon, thank you. Thank you for giving me the heads up. Hi Kamario, hi everyone. Welcome as you're just coming in. We are here with Damon D. And he was referred to me through one of our fashion dolls. Noli introduced me and she was telling me so much about you. But before we get into that, 2024, how has 2024 been for you so far?
Oh man, 2024 been the same as it's been for everybody. Fucked up. This is a
Yeah.
motherfucking year.
For a lot of us, it's been the ups, the downs, everything. It's been so much going on in 2024. Miss Stevie, just chilling, and you, I see you guys are coming in. And T Chef, why should it matter? Anyways, back to what I was saying. Um, 2024, we've had some emotionals, ups and downs. But how have you been getting through 2024? Because I believe that laughter is the best medicine.
Man, strictly through comedy, man. You got a lot of times you got to just smile to keep from crying. You know what I mean? It's been a
Absolutely.
it's been a fucked up year for, like I said, it's been a fucked up year for everybody. You know what I mean? Shit been crazy in the comedy world. Shit been crazy, everywhere. I know, you know what I mean, like, your community. I've been going through the struggles, especially with the person that's in office right now and everything. It's just it's just been a motherfucking, what I mean, roller coaster. So I'm waiting to see what 2025 gonna be like that. As for me, I'm gonna be winning, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say this as well, too, to everybody. The fight doesn't stop here. We got to continue to keep on letting our voices be heard using our platforms and amplifying it even more. And comedy is the best relief. So today is an escape for all of us because in these times, we could use some laughter. And I'm thankful for the likes of shows like The Daily Show, Saturday Night Live, and yourself, Damon, who are out here giving us something to kind of take our minds off of everything that is going on. We are in such heavy times right now, and I believe the comedy is needed more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard for comedy out there, especially how sensitive the motherfucking, what I mean, this society is now. You can't say shit without motherfucker. Oh, I'm gonna cancel you and shit like that. But I don't care. Shit.
Absolutely, but here's the thing. The thing is this: there are so many marginalized groups. Like everybody has their thing going on, and certain situations put people in dangerous situations. And I remember I interviewed Samson McCormick, and we were talking about the whole Dave Chappelle situation. And I said, well, he didn't really see a problem with it, but I gave him pushback and I said, hey, this is dangerous because you are targeting a certain group of people, and this is putting their lives in danger. So you have to see that as well too. But we're not trying to cancel you. We're just calling you in and saying, hey, could have did that a little bit different. But I do believe that we need some humor in these times. Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
brothers! Shout out to the brothers,
Shout
the
out to
host of
everybody.
the K2 Fund. Make sure you guys please go and check him out. Samson is funny. Yes, he is. He's very talented. And I remember we did a two-part interview. So it was one part and then we did two part. And we were got into the whole Dave Chappelle because at the time that was going on as well too. And he wanted to know my thoughts on it. I said certain things are harmful to people because you can't go out here and make jokes about groups of people. That's just like what we seen at Madison Square Garden. This comedian came at everybody, and see how we're both black. He came at us. He came at
Mhm.
every marginalized group. So that's how it is. But I do believe that we need humor in these times, and that brings me to my first question for you, Damon. what are some of the best strategies for memorizing your involved monologues when you are doing, because you do stand-up comedy? So what are some of the best strategies that you use for memorizing your material on stage?
I just I listen to myself, you know,
Mm,
like when I used to rap, I used to be a rapper. And so when I would write a song and record that joint, I put that joint on repeat. Because you know, think about it. Everybody, you know your favorite song word for word. You can sing that joint like boom, boom, boom. So I make my comedy my favorite thing to hear. So if I come up with a joke or something, I record it in my phone, and when I'm asleep at night, I'm either listening to Spanish, something in Spanish, you know, I'm learning Spanish right now, or I'm just, you know what I mean, listening to my comedy. So that way I can, at any given time, I can boom, 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 just, you know, fire off my jokes. And just practicing a lot, looking in the mirror, practicing Facebook expressions. I'm a very animated comedian, so like body movements and gestures and, you know, stuff like that. So it's just constantly practicing. That's the only way you can do anything. Practice makes perfect.
absolutely. And that brings me to my next question. You said you're a very animated comedian. You know, when you said that, you made me think about one of the greats. And that's going to be another question I'm going to ask you. If you had to do a Mount Rushmore of the top five comedians, who would you include into that Mount Rushmore?
Oh
And when you
my.
said animated, because this comedian right here, he literally gets hands on, like he would be sweating
Uh,
from doing his show between takes, and that's Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence is physical. Like you will see him sweating, and the
yeah,
audience will
yeah,
literally be like, we're not in the age of sitcoms back in the 90s where you had the live audience there and you could hear the rumbles and the stumping, the stampede of laughter out in the stands from people just enjoying his shows in real time. And Martin was ahead of his time with that. So if you had to do a Mount Rushmore of comedians, who would you include in your Mount Rushmore? Who's the
Martin
one?
Martin is Martin is definitely in my top five.
Oh,
In no particular order. You got Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy. For me, I like people like Bill Burr. You know what I mean? Let me see who else. You got to take it back to the greats class. Robin Harris, man. Robin Harris is a
so
great
humble.
one. And I would have to go with Bernie Mac because I love people that just speak their fucking mind. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. I don't give a fuck about how nobody feels. This shit funny to me, so I'm gonna say it. You gonna laugh with me or you gonna be mad, but I'm gonna have fun up here regardless.
Absolutely. And Bernie is another one because he not only used comedy, but he taught life lessons in his comedy as well too. Which brings me to our next question. How would you incorporate your viewers' stories into the performances? Like, do you include some of your family from some of the time? And I think who was it? It was Sherry Shepherd. She says her son does not like it when when she includes him into her stand-up. So for you, how do you incorporate some of the viewer stories into your
Well, I incorporate everything to my stand up. What I do on my stand up though is like, you know, I take bits and pieces. Like, okay, it's like making a gumbo. It's like,
story?
okay, like, you know, my homeboy's uncle funny as shit. So I'm gonna take my homeboy's uncle, you know what I mean? I'm gonna mix part of my cousin, you know, I'm gonna take this scenario that happened with my homeboy from elementary school because the uncle and the cousin fit better in that story. And you know, I just put it together to make it funny. It's not about like, you know, I'm not one of the comedians that like, yeah, it's a lot of truth. There's truth behind every joke, but I'm not one of the comedians that's going to drop facts. I'm just going to say whatever the fuck funny. If if me going gonna make people laugh, I'm gonna be on stage going all day long. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you said Truth because that's another comedian. From one of my top fives, I would have to say Cat Williams, Martin Lawrence. So when I think about Truth, I'm pretty sure you've seen the interview that Cat did. Uh, he just let it all out on the table, and that's the key thing of comedy. Comedy is supposed to reveal a story. It's supposed to tell someone's story, but you're doing it in a way where it's also including humor as well too, to not make it seem like, oh, it's sad. But sometimes you have to laugh through the pain, and
Right.
laughter is the best medicine.
I'm gonna,
100%.
I'm gonna tell you about comedians. Like most people don't know, comedians, we are the most, you know what I mean, disturbed people on the inside. That's where the humor comes from. Like I said, you got to laugh to keep from crying, you know, because
Yeah.
and then like comedy is a very very hard profession just because for the simple fact of you could think of comedians like plants, you know what I mean? Like you know how plants bring in they take your carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen so you can, you know what I mean, so everybody can breathe. Well, comedians, when people go to a comedy show, you go to a comedy show for a reason because you need a laugh, you need some good feeling, you need some positive energy. So you coming in there, a lot of times, you especially our people, a lot of times you coming in there, you know, with a main mug. So it's my job to take that energy, absorb it, transform it, and kick it back out. You see what I'm saying? And transform that energy into positive energy that you leave out with a smile. The fucked up part about it is a lot of times that when you're taking on that negative energy, a little bit gets trapped inside and it starts piling up and piling up and piling up and piling up. That's why you see a lot of comedians like, it's like, yo, what the hell? Look at people like Robin Harris, you know, I mean, not Robin Harris, Robin Williams, you know, off the show. Look at all the comedians that died of drug overdoses and stuff like Jim Belushi, what's his name? Chris Farley, people like that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And, you know, look at the people that die from heart attacks, stuff from stress and stuff like that. It's like, it's a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? It's a very fine line. You got to walk and balance it. You can tip over at any time and, you know, one foot on the grave, one foot in the banana peel type stuff.
And I'm so glad that, oh my God, did you mention that? Because we can't also forget about Richard Pryor as well, too. Like Richard Pryor had his
Yeah.
battles. He's another one as well, too. You mentioned Robin Harris. And I feel as though somebody needs to do a story about his life because he's one of the comedians that no one really talks about. We talk about Eddie Murphy. We talk about Bernie Mac. We talk about Steve Harvey, Cedric. We talk about, who's another one? Martin. But he never gets any light. Another one is Ronaldo
Yeah,
Ray,
Ronaldo
and one
Ray,
of my
yeah.
colleagues, Marcus Head, is doing a story on his life, Ronaldo Ray.
Hmm.
So these are some of the greats as well. But Richard Pryor did a film called JoJo Dancer, Your Life
Yeah.
is Calling, and we got to see him in a different light as well too. But it is important that people tell. Nina Simone has a quote that goes like this: an artist's job is to reflect the times. And that goes for comics too. You are telling someone's story, but you're doing it in a way where it's making them happy. You're bringing us joy. You're administering medicine to us, the audience, the viewers, the consumers that are sitting there coming to your shows, that are sitting in the audience and enjoying and getting laughter. So comedians also, musicians as well, they have a way of healing, and laughter brings healing.
It's crazy that you said that because I'm also a musician. You know what I mean?
So musically, let's get into that. Where do you pull inspiration from musically? Because I know you find little things to write about here and there.
No, I really no. See, I haven't written any music. I ain't gonna lie. I did write a song just recently the other day. It's a dembow track, and that's due to me practicing Spanish. So I started writing a rap song in Spanish. You know, Dominican dembow. So you know, but for the most part, uh, same thing with comedy. When I used to rap, is stuff you hear me rap would not be my life at all. It would just be me setting a mood and setting and just bringing a form of entertainment. I'm more than a comedian. I'm an all around entertainer. You know what I mean? I'm a classically trained musician. You know, I've been playing instruments since I was in fourth grade. I went to college as a music education major. You know, I've been in drama, all that stuff. So, you know, and comedy is like, you remember that movie, The Five Deadly Venoms?
Yes.
Remember the one dude at the end, right? The one dude, the one that the master, he taught him all the styles. He said, "Look, you're not going to be the nicest at any one style, but you know all the styles, and you good enough that if you team up with any one of the other styles, you can beat the other four." So you know what I mean? I'm a rapper, comedian, actor, you know what I mean, musician, and I'm working on dance right now.
All right. And you know who else does the same thing too? He does music and he does comedy. Craig Robinson is another one. I
Oh yeah,
forgot
that's
about
my
him.
that's my boy, Craig Robinson. That's my man. That's my man. Yeah, he's funny as shit.
He does music and comedy, and but he incorporates comedy when he does his music too. So I don't know how he does it, but he gets up on stage and he will give you a laugh. That's another. You both sell out shows. So that's the key thing when it comes to comedy. You bring out there Jamie Foxx as well, Rob.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tommy
Rob also
Davidson.
said, I've had Tommy Davidson on the show. Damon, when I tell you, that was one of the hardest interviews to do in my lifetime because comedians, y'all know how to do. Y'all see how serious I try to be. I try
Hmm.
to be all serious and stuff when I'm doing my interviews. But my mom called me before I did that interview with Tommy Davis. And she said, what if he breaks out in one of his characters in the living color? Because, I always try to be, when I do this platform in my interviews, if you've seen them, you see I try to be all professional and
Yeah.
stuff. Mom, when I tell you, he broke me. I cracked. I could not contain my laughter because he broke out into one of his living colors. Just as my mom predicted, he broke out into one of his characters. And I just could not.
He did
It
his
was one
job.
of the interviews ever. But he also wrote a book and he was talking about, growing up, life after In Living Color, because In Living Color set the paveway. You had Def Comedy Jam, you had In Living Color, all of these shows that opened up for, comedians to showcase their comedy as well as their talents and flexibility and musical skills. As Rob said in the comments, Jamie Foxx, that's how we got introduced to him through In Living
Yep.
Color and stuff. So you got to start there from point A to point B, and that's what he was saying when we did our interview as well too.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, he had legends on the show. That's what I'm talking about. See, I feel like a legend now. 'Cause you know what I mean? The people you named have been on the show. Now I'm here. You know what I mean? So like I'm on the right track.
Um, Another one that I've had on the show as well, Rudy Ray. He's another one. Rudy Moore is another one. So I'm telling you,
Oh,
we've
oh,
had some of
you
the
had Dolomite on the show?
not Dolomite. I can't remember his last name, but I know his name is Rudy. Rudy Rush.
Oh,
Rudy
Rudy
Rush.
Rush. Okay, when you said
Yes.
Rudy Ray, I'm like Rudy
Yeah,
Ray Moore, Dolomite.
I got it mixed up, y'all. Forgive me.
I'm
Rudy Rush was on the show. I've had Barry Brewer on the show as well too. So I've sat with some greats that are out here doing their thing in the comedy world, and it's amazing to be able to talk and just see their experience, their perspective from going on the road, going on tours. Now for you, going on the road, what's it like? Because I know you have to balance out with family and then making sure that you got everything set before you go out on stage. There's always a balance with being in the entertainment business. So for you, how do you find that balance?
See, I am still a working man. So when I do hit the road, I ride out and go places on my off days. So I haven't been like, on the road, like, hey, we about to go on this tour. I never been on
It's
the tour,
coming.
Yeah, so
It's coming. Be ready for it because a
I'm
lot of
waiting on it.
comedians in this business, it's a lot. And I ask that question to all of my guests all the time, whether they may be an actor, whether they may be a producer, musician, whatever. It's always about finding balance. So I had to know. I was curious to know. And then when I called earlier by accident, you were at work at. So we're here now.
Yeah. Look, the crazy thing is I was at work at the second job. I got off 8 in the morning and went straight to the other job. So you know what I mean? Like just grinding.
I'm glad you said that. That's a side hustle. And Martin Lawrence was saying that just recently in one of his interviews. I think he did with Jennifer Hudson. He was saying that started off working somewhere. They did. It was telling us how Salt and Pepper started off as TSA. They started there. How everybody got their start somewhere in this business. You have to have a side job because tomorrow's not promising. It's either here today, gone tomorrow. And the prime example of that would be another icon that we lost who is no longer here, and that's Red Fox. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't listen to any of his records, any of his albums, but the show that I was allowed to watch was Sanford and Son growing up. My mom loves Sanford and Son, and then I watched the spinoff to Sanford and Son, which is Sanford, and they used to air it on BET. So that's how I got introduced to him. And then through Harlem Nights. Now I could watch stuff like that, but she would just not let me. My parents would not allow me to listen to his albums. Now that I'm older, I can go back and listen to
No.
it. But he's another one as well too. So make sure that you are having a plan A and a plan B because it's sad how we lost this comedy icon as well to Red Fox.
Yeah. I
Gone, but not.
mean, Yeah, it's like it's sad because like it's people that I see that just jump out there. You know what I mean? No names or nothing, but it's a comedian that I know that's had a successful 2 or 3 shows and got too big for his britches and left everything, quit his job, left everything, and moved out somewhere else. You know what I mean? And also he didn't humble himself. He felt like he was up here, and then you come to turn around and you look, the same stuff. Like you see people putting their cash apps up and stuff like that. He would talk about it and stuff like that. Turn around, boom, what you see? This joker on there hosting the telethon that somebody doing for him. Please help me get my car to impound. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like you shouldn't have quit your job. You had a good one. You know what I mean?
Funny he died of a heart attack. Yes, Rob. I mean, we've lost so many comedy giants from Bernie Mac to Red Fox to, as Damon said, Robin Williams. Is so many that we lost. But I'm thankful for the ones that are still here, like the Cedric the Entertainers, like the Steve Harveys of the world, like the Martin Lawrences, like the Tommy Davisons of the world. And it's so many others. Now we're seeing this new generation of comedians come along. DC Young Fly, who was spot on with his Chris Tucker impersonation. So we're
Yeah,
seeing a lot of them that are coming along and taking that torch after the icons have passed it on to them. They're still out here performing. They're still out here. Mark Curry is going on the road, hanging with Mr. Cooper. He's still
Mr.
going on
Cooper.
the road.
Yeah,
Sinbad is another one. Sinbad, what I loved about his comedy is that he tried to make it family, more so family oriented. And then if he needed to go to that R-rated side, he could. But they had him in Disney films and everything. So it's like you're finding that balance. You have to be able to find that balance of both. And he was able to do that. Martin is another one that can do that as well, too.
yeah,
So what it's all about.
yep.
Now,
That's why honestly,
for you, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
I'm
Go.
sorry. I'm
No,
interrupting.
I was saying like that's why I like honestly I like comedians more in the beginning. Like what I mean. I'm not a Kevin Hart fan now. I'm a Kevin Hart fan before he became a millionaire. I like when everybody hungry and it's like like look, I don't care. I'm about to go hard. I don't give a fuck. This is what it is. And that's what I like. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at because the jokes don't hit the same once you know what I mean. You can't talk about the struggle and we know you worth like 20 million. You can't. I don't want to hear the struggle coming from your mouth like that. Same from rappers. Like I don't want to hear about the struggle and you riding the Lambo right now. Don't talk to me about it.
No, oh, yeah, you start at humble beginnings. It goes back to what I was saying. You start from humble beginnings because a lot of comedians get their groundwork somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And another example, Keenan on Saturday Night
Kenan
Live.
Thompson.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kenan from all that. Yeah.
Nickelodeon, all that. Look at him now.
Yep.
And it just goes to show you how far you got to start somewhere to get to the next level of your life. Kevin Hart started here, and look at him now. But you have the icons out here that are still touring on the road. Like I said, Sinbad is out here. You've got Mark Curry, DC Curry. I mean, it's so many, just to name a few, that are
Mm-hmm.
still out here that touring, that are giving you sold out shows. Sherry, Kim Whitley for the female side. You've got Monique. You've got Adele Givens. You've got all of these Myra Hayes. There's so many of them that are still out here giving you comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Now, my next
Definitely.
question for you is because I've seen it happen at other shows. It was, who was it? It was Gary Owens, and he had his first um, combat with a heckler in the audience, and it was a MAGA supporter. So how would you combat hecklers?
I mean, I can't. It's something that I can't really say because it's like it's really a on the fly type of thing. You see what I'm saying? It's like like right then and there because you never know what a heckler gonna say or what they gonna do or whatever. So if I got a quick, I'm pretty quick with it. So if I got a quick, what I mean, come back, boom, I'm gonna hit you real quick. Or I'll just do the ultimate because my stage presence is great. I can I can make everybody turn invisible and key in just on those 1 or 2 people that's paying attention and laughing and leave everybody else. And just knowing human psychology, everybody wants to be a part of something. That's just human nature because we're not made to be alone. We all want to be a part of something. You know what I mean? So when you ready to heckle, I'm not paying attention to you, and I'm paying attention to these three people over here, and they're like, they having a good time. The five people around them, three people like, shoot, they having a good time. I mean, let's have a good time too. They about to have fun. And that's the room is starting to fill up with laughter, and you got that one person that's sitting here like, then they only got two choices. They can either leave or join and have fun as well.
Exactly. And you know who's a pro at doing that? Well, she hadn't really had any hecklers, but it would be Leslie Jones. Like Leslie Jones, if you go back and you watch her old clips, see, she posted one of her old clips. She literally got out there on stage, got off stage, and went near the audience. And, she got all up close on the audience member and stuff like that. And she just was joking, and the audience member just couldn't even contain their laughter. They just broke out laughing. So, I
Mm.
mean, she's another one that likes to get physical too. We talk about Martin, but she's another one that likes to get physically hands-on and show you on stage as well too. So it's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
See, you know what the thing is? I never I never got heckled. The only time I got heckled was by other comedians, at like open mics, and that's us roasting each other, having a good time. Like the crowd usually don't heckle me because I do got comebacks because I'm 6'11". I'm 6'11", 285 pounds. You know what I mean? So for the most part, people be reluctant to say shit. Sometimes out of, fear of, as long as nobody don't rush the stage, I'm good. You know what I mean? You rush the stage, you're gonna catch a boot. This is Sparta. You're going back down the hole. But I ain't never had to worry about that.
Now, comedy, where do you feel that the next generation of comedy, because as I've mentioned, you've got the DC Young Flies, you've got the next generation of comedians that are coming up. What are some piece of advice that you would give to the next generation of comedians coming up out?
I would say find your lane because we in a digital age now, and it's
Yes.
comedy. It's so many different genres of comedy now. Like you got your content creators, you got your influencers, you got your stand-up comedians, you got people that do skits, you got people that So you got to find out what you're good at,
Mm.
and master that, and master that. If you're good at if you trash like on stage, like for instance, DC Young Fly is funny. Stand up wise, nah, not at all. I don't like DC Young Fly stand up. But when he up there on that was a 95 South show or whatever, 85 South, whatever, when they up there just talking
Oh
they
yeah, with
talk and stuff,
Carlo. Yeah.
yeah, when they up there talking and stuff, hilarious. When he roasting, hilarious. When he doing like improv, like on Wild 'N Out, hilarious. You know what I mean? Because it's a difference between doing that and doing the actual, written stand up set. So like I said, he found his lane. Find your lane and then work on it because it's so many different lanes to get, that you can get paid from.
Absolutely. And Rob Coffey just said it. Hi, Ebony. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
See, I can't see the comments because of Instagram. Once the comments freeze, if you're not the host, you're the only one that can see them and stuff. So if anybody say anything to me, I can't see the comments.
I got you, Damon. Damon.
Thank you.
I'll read it to you. We got Rob Coffey. He says he sings also, and then finding your set. Even with hosting a platform, if you're going to for Saturday Night Live, the opening monologue is the thing that people look for. The host, whoever it may be, let's say Jamie Foxx is hosting Saturday Night Live. You have to open the show with a good monologue, a good catch line that draws the audience in and that makes them laugh. That's the job. Because when you're doing comedy, it was Jackie Harris. She says, you want to make sure that you get a laugh out of every person in that room, that there is nobody feeling down, feeling bad, or anything. And also another key thing when you're doing comedy or filming a sitcom is about timing. So you got to know when to come in with that punchline and that
Yes.
joke like that. So I don't know how some of these sitcoms, how these comedians do it on sitcoms. It's hard. And then you try to remain in character. The other actor will try to remain in character. And on Martin, I know on Martin, it was Tashina Arnold. She said that it was hard to keep a straight face because when he's in character, he would finally, you would see Tommy break, you would see Cole break, you would see everybody break character and just stop laughing. It's so hard. And prime example, my interview that I did with Tommy Davidson, how he just unexpectedly broke out in one of his In Living Color characters. So that's a prime example right there. But that key thing is you got to make sure that you are a professional. You got to keep it
Yeah.
professional. You got to look, call that third wall, the third wall where you can't look past that. That comedian's making the jokes to make the audience laugh, but you can't do anything. And she said to Sheena Arnold said that when they did the episode, y'all remember the episode of Martin where they had the tape recorder and he was trying to figure out who stole the tape recorder. Like
Oh yeah, the CD
yeah,
player, the New Jack City
yeah,
joint.
yes.
Yeah.
The dog scene. He said the dog better not fall, and the dog fell over. So it was so hard. She had to hold her laugh in, but you could hear her. If you go back and you watch that episode, you can hear her laugh. That's how funny he was. It's just like with comedy, when you're doing a sitcom, it's like tag, you're it. So
And you know, and that's my goal. Like, with comedy, that's why I started doing stand-up comedy because my goal has always been to be an actor and to be on a syndicated sitcom and stuff like that. That's my goal. So it's like comedy is a means to meeting people. And I've been meeting dope people. Like I've been on a Michael Collier morning show about like 6, 7 times. You know what I mean? Like, like like I was just on there yesterday, the Michael Collier morning show, on YouTube.
love Michael Corden.
Yeah, yeah,
Love him
yeah.
ever since House Party 3. He is funny. He is
He
funny.
said, I'm gonna give you one of these TJ or those. Oh, that's a toe jam cracker.
Yes. Showboat.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then he'll go and he'll talk about how him and the wife was cooking and stuff. Like Michael's, yes, y'all need to go and check it out. Make sure you guys are going to check out the Michael Collier morning show. He had our girl T.S. Madison on there, and him and her together are like they crack up because it's like, well, I curse too. Madison was like, well, I curse too. So I mean, y'all need to go and check it out. Michael Collier. Another person who does it very, very well, who would try to get you out of your character, is Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley is another one as well too. And what he does when he does these impersonations, you have to be all serious. Again, you're having to overlook that third wall in order to
Yeah.
stay in character. Sometimes it just happens. That wall comes down and you just break. They got you. It's like tag, you're it. We made you laugh. So a sitcom, I'm manifesting that in the future for you, Damon. Like it's gonna happen.
Appreciate you. Y'all hear this, so all y'all tune into the sitcom. Don't worry
Yes,
about what sitcom it is. When you see my name, just watch the motherfucker. Watch it.
absolutely. I see y'all all. Hi, Coco. Welcome, welcome. Hi, 317. Rob, I see y'all all are coming in. I hope y'all are enjoying this interview. And I wanted you guys to have an escape. We need some laughter right now. We're in dark times, but the best way to get through it is laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. So thank you, Noli, for setting this interview up. I'm having a great time, and I hope you guys are as well. Also, I wanted y'all to have a getaway, an escape from everything that's going on in the world. We need to tune out sometimes. And laughter, comedy, for me, I know a lot of sitcoms that I've been watching, we all grew up on them on, whether it may be 227, whether it may be Good Times, whether it may be The Jeffersons, whether it may be Martin for sure. It's so many just to name
Mhm.
a few. So let me see if we got any comments in here. Rob says, write your own sitcom. Mm.
You know what? That would be dope, but I am not a writer. You know what? I thought I got ideas, but like, I am like me personally, I am not a writer. My lane is, what I mean, like, what do you need? This, I do voices, I do all that stuff. Just tell me what you need and let me loose. You know what I mean? Like I'm the one of those people that would have to team up with a writer. Like, and there's a lot of people, even like look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah.
Like, yes, Dave Chappelle writes a lot of stuff, but he also has, he has a best friend named Dave, the white dude, that writes a lot of, you know what I mean? So you got, like, even look at the greats. Like, you have people like Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx, Richard Pryor. you hear them do similar stuff. Paul Mooney wrote all that. Even though Paul Mooney is a funny person, but
Oh,
he's not as funny as them other three people, even though he wrote for them. But I'm one of those people that, that bring it to life. I'm an animated person. I'll bring the stories and bring the stuff to life. So I need that written down for me. Like, okay, this is the parameters. This is the scene, going on air. And then just let me loose and I add my own flair to it to make it funny.
oh, absolutely. And another person who writes and stars in his stuff too is Keenan Ivory Wayans in
Oh
Living Color.
yeah,
I
the
mean,
goat. That's the goat. Shoot, I remember I'm
and
gonna get you, sucker.
oh yeah,
That's my joint.
this
To this day, I cannot watch that movie and not crack up. I
oh
can't.
man, my mom falls and rest in peace to Janet Dubois. You know her as Walona on Good Times. You can take the door, you can take the stairs, and
Yeah,
every time Waynes and Kadeem Hardison about fell out, she threw him out the window. It was funny.
yeah.
No, they went
And
down the stairs the first time. Then
yep.
she threw. They said you gonna
He
jump out.
said, at the end, he said, man, y'all kiss my natural black ass. Oh, he ain't know about the elevator? That's my joint.
Oh yes, that family. Don't they don't get their flowers deserved enough. The Wayne's family. Oh yeah, Living Color and Living Color put so many of the names that we know today out here in front of us. Jamie Foxx. You
Jamie
had
Foxx,
Jay,
Jim
Tommy
Carrey,
Davis. They all were the breakout
hmm
stars.
David Allen Greer.
Oh yeah.
So man, so many people. Oh man, like, you can't even name all the people. Oh man, that show, that show right there, that was, man, that was pure genius. I watched the interview with Keenan, and he was talking about how he got the show so popular. What he
Oh,
did was during the Super Bowl, before the halftime shows was his live and stuff, he decided to air during the Super Bowl halftime show. Well, everybody was tuned in to the Super Bowl, but during the halftime show, everybody who was watching TV in America, everybody was home because that's the biggest pastime in America, Super Bowl Sunday. And so when they flipped the channel, everybody in America flipped the channel to Living Color. Okay, boom, it's off. Bang, game about to start back up. And that was a great strategy. Timing, like you said, timing. The T in timing is more important than the T in talent.
Jim Carrey also as well too, and we see Jim Carrey where on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
So you look at that. Saturday Night Live is another show that brought out some of the great comics as well too. So funny that they broke character so many times. Listen, Pumpkin Muffin. This is what we were just talking about. It's like when that third wall that I was talking about. You're looking over that third wall. You have to try to remain in character and be serious. They want you to be serious and professional. They don't want you to break because then if they do, they have to go in again and do that take again. So it's hard for people to have to stay in character, but it's so funny because the person is trying to make you
Yeah.
break, and they do it all the time. Like once you laugh, tag you're in.
Yep, and it's really not the person that's in character because it's easy for us to stay in character. It's easy for me to stay in character. It's easy, and I'm not even a professional actor, so I know it's easy for them. The hard part is the people that's not playing that character for y'all not to laugh, for y'all to stay in that character. Well, not for y'all to stay in y'all's character because we doing our thing. Like you said, you heard Pam laughing, and they got to do the outtakes and all that stuff because
Oh, and the
cause,
bloopers be even more funny. The bloopers be even more funny because you get to actually see it behind the scenes and how many takes they took for it. The next year they got Michael Jackson to do the Super Bowl within and Living Color. Yeah. And that's another thing. He's had Keenan Ivory Wayans brought musical guests on the show. He combined hip hop, comedy, skits, all of this in one. And then years later, what happened? The show, y'all remember what is it? The Showman Showcase, is that it? That's another one as well too with Brisha Webb, and you've had so many others on there.
Mhm.
That's the in Living Color, but I'm just like that, and Living Color can't be duplicated. But if you like In Living Color, you'll like the Sherman Showcase. That's the name. Sherman Showcase, where you get to see Brescia Webb, and I think you got Tommy Hobson, who I've also interviewed on there as well too. And Brescia, she does her impersonation of Tiny from Escape. She does her impersonation of Mary J. Blige. She's so funny. Like she knows it word for word. She knows how to make her voice sound just like Mary J. Because Mary's from New York. She's a New York girl. So Brescia taps into Mary and she turns into Mary and she challenges. Go look it up. It's out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
you got yeah.
There's somewhere.
Yeah, I'm hopping on YouTube right after this now, because I need to see because I have never watched the Sherman Showcase. I've heard of it, but I never
Yeah,
watched
Amy, Brescia, Brescia Webb, she turns into Mary J. Blige. It was one scene where her and Tommy, and I commented under the post because Tommy posted it. I said, Tommy, how could you stay in character? Because they were supposed, you know how Mary does interviews. So she was like, well, peel me a grape. I said, she said, I'm Mary J. Blige. I mean, it was funny. She said,
it.
don't peel me no grape like I'm like some little Kim bitch. I fell out, y'all. I was rolling. But that's Brescia for you. I mean, if you and then she did the movie with Mike Epps too. You guys know what I think it's the Haunted. I can't remember the name of it, but she did the movie with Mike Epps, and we know Mike Epps is also one of the ones that are out here. That's one of the greats as well too. He's still touring out here.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy how like a lot of actors are going back. Some like a lot of people don't know it, but Eddie Murphy is doing stand up again.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, but what he's doing, he's going back from the beginning, doing open mics and stuff, starting back from the beginning, like what I mean, he's sharpening back up and stuff. And I know in the next year or two we're gonna see another. I think he's gonna give us one more delirious or raw type of performance soon. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on it.
I am too. What got me is the Nutty Professor, how he was able to play all of these characters and it be exactly like how our family members are in real time. We could relate to him in some sort of way, but he made it fun. So it was pure comedy throughout the entire Nutty Professor franchise, where he was able to turn himself into all these different characters. He played the mom, he played the dad, he played the uncle, he played the grandmother.
Grandma,
So I
yeah,
mean, it was funny. I don't know how Eddie Murphy did it. We all will never know how he did it, but he transformed himself into these
yeah,
people. And that's what comedy is about, being able to make sure that you're all of your family members, because we all got family members like that somewhere in our family. He was able to tap into that. Deborah from Mad TV is hilarious with her in person. Oh yeah, with the Whitney Houston. Yes. Deborah, that was funny too.
yeah. Mad TV, that was my joint. Like I like Mad TV. I like the Mad TV more than I like Saturday Night Live.
Uh,
Just being real, I would watch that over Saturday Night Live any day.
they need to bring that back. So I don't think they need to revive it because everybody's talking about reboot. It won't be the same as the original when it came out. Now, if they could get together for a reunion, that's different and maybe do something different. But I don't think a reboot. No, no. It's certain things that you can't duplicate, certain comedies and shows that you can't duplicate and bring back.
Yeah,
But
the reason why for those shows like your Saturday Night Live, that's what Saturday Night Live got its classes and your Mad TVs and your Living Colors and stuff. It's really not about the actual show. It's about the caliber of talent that you have at that time, the chemistry that people have. Because if you notice, like look at all the look at the successful Saturday Night Live cast. All of them would do movies together and stuff. Like you had your class with Adam Sandler and David Spade and all of them. Then you got your
Will
Will
Ferrell,
Ferrell
all
and
of
all of
them.
them. And then your Belushi back in the day, all of what I mean, each one of them with Eddie Murphy, Belushi, all of them would do that in classes. It was about finding that right chemistry. It's like a championship team. It's like putting together a championship team, pretty much.
And then as someone said in the comments, it was I think it was Rob. Rob said Jim Carrey as well too. So I mean, you've got, as Damon just said, you've got so many that have blossomed from these shows, blossomed from these platforms, such as Saturday Night Live, such as The Daily Show, such as Mad TV. And I would be curious to see what Mad TV would look like if it comes back now in 2024, because Back then, it was a hit, but now in 2024, it's all about who you cast to be on these shows and how they're
Yeah.
going to bring delivery, how they're going to bring the comedy, the comedic time, and everything. That's all. But shows like this captured like it's like capturing lightning in a bottle, and they
Mm-hmm.
can't be removed. Sitcoms like Living Single, I know a lot of people want to reboot on that. Kim Fields said it best. It was like lightning in a bottle. Everybody had chemistry on set. So what you saw on that set projected out on the television every night in our households on Fox.
Yeah.
Because Fox had I remember Fox had, what is it, an all black lineup of sitcoms. You had Rock, you had Martin, you had a
Mm.
Living. I remember that. I think it would be
Yeah.
every at 9 o'clock, a certain time, they would have a certain hour with just nothing but black sitcoms back to back to back. Rock, Martin, and Living Color, Living Single. And then Friends, for, yeah.
But yo, I'm gonna keep it a bean. I like Friends. Friends is my shit. It's one of my top. Phoebe, that's my girl. It was all about Phoebe and Joey for me, though. You know what I mean? I ain't caring about nobody else, but just Phoebe and Joey, that was just enough for me to watch the show.
And what's so genius is now you've got BET. BET is bringing all of these shows back, replaying it. We see Martin on BET. We can watch it on Hulu. We can watch it on Netflix. We can watch it everywhere, just about. We're seeing it, and we can go back in time and watch these shows. They still look the same as if they were shot when they came out. So it's just so good that we're able now with all of these streaming platforms that we can catch up on our sitcoms and watch them and reminisce. MTV is premiering Martin.
Wow.
So yeah, MTV even has Martin. I remember at one point they were showing Martin on MTV, and then it was the Wayans Brothers show. And Living Color, I think they had it on FXXX. I think that's what they call it, FX with the
FX
two
channel,
X's.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's kind of off topic, but it seemed like they all went off the air at the same time. The Hughleys, Girlfriends, Living Single. Oh, those two came later down the line. Punchkin. Those two comedies came way down the line. The Hughleys and Girlfriends. Um, Living Single, Martin, and Rock were all in that same era of '90s
Yeah.
sitcom shows.
The mother
And then
joints
you,
from
yeah, you
2000.
see Girlfriends. You see, yeah, Girlfriends. No, yeah, Girlfriends, the Hugleys, all of them, all about the Andersons. They were all in that same 2000 era. The Parkers too, the
Hmm.
Parkers too. So yeah,
The Moesha era and all that. Well, not actually, that's after
yeah,
Moesha. It was even after that.
yeah. The Parkers came after Moesha, and then you
Yeah.
see Girlfriends. You see, yeah, the Parkers, the Hugleys. They were both out during the same time, '99 into the 2000s, and then it just went on and on from there. And then you see the Parkers, and so many
Hmm.
others. Girlfriends come along, and so many others after that. Insecure, right after Girlfriends, and then you see Blackish. So it's so many. Each sitcom had their era. In the '70s and the '80s, it was what, the good times
Good
and the
times,
Jeff. Yeah.
Jeffersons. You had Sanford and Sons. What else? It was a bunch of stuff, man. Wilson Pickett. They were still showing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Will Pickett show. Yeah, they were still showing a lot of that stuff. And then Keenan came out and said, "You know what? Living Color."
Yeah,
but
that bursted on the scene in the '90s, the early 1990s, and then it just took a liking to its own. And we had, I mean, I wish Fox would do that again, where they just give us back this hour. But those things, it's like Kim Fields said, it's like lightning in a bottle. Those memories that we hold on to, that hour, that black comedy hour on Fox right there. And then they just stopped doing it. And then BET picked up where they left off and said, hey, you cancel these shows, we're going to take them over here and put them on our network. And then MTV took it on. And now you guys can watch it on Hulu, or you can pick up the actual box set. Like I have the Martin box set of each season from season 1 all the way to the final season, season 5.
I
So
used
you're able to pick up. Yeah.
I used to have a box set, but my box set was bootleg because it came from me just taking other tapes and putting some tissue in the tab, and when it came on, for that bitch in the VCR hit record. You know what I mean? You got to pause at the commercials.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Though, when you had that Fox hour, the commercials would pop up right there in the middle of the show. You'd be so good. I mean, because Martin, I think HBO also had something to do with his sitcom as well too. So you would see that little HBO light, and then they'd go to a commercial break and then put the caption back up. I remember those days just like it was yesterday. And then we can't forget about Family Matters. We can't forget about any of these other black sitcoms out here
Mm-hmm.
that were in the
Oh,
90s.
TGIF.
Yes.
The TGIF.
Sister is another one as well too. Like you had that era from ABC to Fox. They were both like the parent companies, and you were able to catch all of these sitcoms. Now it's just like, where are all the black sitcoms? I mean, it's very few, very little, but very few. I mean, after Blackish ended, that was it. But now Insecure was a sitcom, was a comedy as well too, but it talked about love, relationships, all of these different things. But now it's just like we don't have
You,
any more black sitcoms.
we
It's like
actually we do. Actually we do. It's a lot of them. See what it is and and I commend these people that are being a lot smarter because they getting the like what you say they're cutting the middleman out a lot. Because if you
yes,
like on YouTube and stuff like you got people like Big Ja and all of them doing them shorts and
Country
episodes
Wayne.
like the lesbian homie and all that stuff. Them joints be hilarious. And it's like, and it's like they getting the bulk of the money because they cutting out the middleman with them studios. And I'm all for that.
And they're actually going into business establishments and doing comedy as well too. Like Norman Freeman, if you guys follow Norman, um, he is a hoot too. So you got Norman Freeman, you got Country Wayne, you've got all of these comedians that are saying, "Hey, I'm gonna do my own thing right here." Ricky Smiley, of course. I mean, he does it with his radio show in the mornings, and he'll go in and create spin-offs of so many different things. But we're seeing it now. It's this day and age where comedians and storytellers are now saying, if they're not going to put me on a network, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create my own opportunity. And
Yes.
independent is the best way to go. And Noli was talking about this, that you have a lot of independent artists out here, whether it may be comics, whether it may be artists, whether it may be producers. They are doing this independently, and they are funding this from their pockets. They're paying to give us this amazing content, so enjoy it, celebrate, and support these comedians as well too.
Yes, yes. And like the crazy thing is people it don't and they doing this stuff like it don't cost us nothing to watch this stuff. They getting paid from their sponsors. This stuff is on YouTube. This stuff is free. So like, share, subscribe. It's free and enjoy. All you got to pay is your electric bill and your Wi-Fi bill. You
So you
supposed to
be
be
able
paying
to
that anyway,
enjoy.
goddamn it.
Oh my goodness. And not only that, Damon, but you have Sherry and Kim Whitley. They have a podcast and it's straight up comedy throughout their podcast as well to Two Funny Mamas. So you guys make sure y'all go and check that out. Support comedians by any means, from their podcast to their radio shows to their shows. Make sure that you go and you support. That's how Issa Rae got started. Exactly. It was Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl, and then she just turned it into Insecure, and then it just became an instant hit from there. We tuned in every night faithfully on HBO to watch that.
Right.
So you never know where you start off somewhere, and you never know where that destination can take you to the next area in your career. Damon just mentioned Kevin Hart. The same with Kevin Hart. What did he start off in? Soul Plane, and then his career just poof, he's everywhere. Podcasts, you see him with Old Spice, you see him everywhere. So I mean, comedians, you have to start off somewhere at the starting ground and then work your way to the end. And that's why, yeah.
I'm glad I started because like it took me a while. I always wanted to do comedy. I started in 2020, but in 2019 I was I work in the hospitality industry. As a night auditor, hotels, and we had a group of deaf people that was in the hotel, and I'm looking at the camera and I see these people up in third floor in the lounge, and I'm like, what all them doing up there? And I go up the steps and stuff. This was an older hotel, so I go up the steps. I don't know why I was tiptoeing and creeping. Ain't like they could have heard me anyway. But and I start hearing like these laughs, like how deaf people make sounds. And I'm hearing, I'm like, what the hell? And I go up and I creep and I see the sign that say Deaf Comedy Jam, DEAF Comedy Jam. And dude was up there sign language, just doing stand up comedy in sign language, and they was cracking up. I was like, this brother can't hear. If he can get on stage and do comedy, I ain't got no choice. And so that's why I started in 2020.
Absolutely, yes. And I know it was difficult for a lot of comics in 2020. I'm glad you brought that up as well, too, because everybody had to do things how we're doing it right now. How we're doing this
Mm-hmm.
platform right now, everything was virtually. A lot of people I know had to close down and stop their shows, unfortunately. The pandemic, we took a hit. And a lot of shows, a lot of businesses was impacted. So we had to stay home and do what we're doing right now, how we're doing it virtually. Everybody had to become creative, and they were doing comedy in quarantine. There were so many different ways that comedians as well as musicians found ways to be creative and just get their
Yeah.
business, get their talent out there. They're just like, oh no, we're not going to let our talent go to waste over time. We're going to go on ahead and we're going to make you laugh. We're going to give you something. And then the verses started coming up with the music artists. And you still had comedians out here. They were, you could have shows, but it was very few. It was very limited on what you could do
Yeah.
as far as that.
I appreciated COVID because COVID it made me come up with some of our best material. Yeah, because I remember when they lifted the mask mandate when uh during COVID. I'm gonna be honest. I was single during COVID. I'm married now. I was single during the COVID, but I had ended up catching COVID and survived it, and was like, fuck it, still gonna live my life because that shit had me fucked up. I was like, I'm gonna live my life. I could walk outside and get hit by a bus tomorrow. I'm gonna go out this motherfucker, live my life. So I was a COVID whore. You know what I mean? Because man, hey, during COVID, all the woman had to do was have your desired body type, a mean eyebrow game and a mean hair game. Instant bad shit because the mask hit a lot of stuff, but then you get them chicks that when they took the mask down, they turned into Melina off Mortal Kombat, like, And so I was in a bar one time, when they opened the bars back up, still had the mask on and people put the mask down to drink. And I seen this woman, and I mean, she was bad. And I knew she was out of my league, but I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna holler anyway. And I went to holler at Shorty, and she didn't give me the time of day, but I bought her a drink anyway. I was like, hey man, I had to try, you know what I mean? And then I walked away, and I looked back and seen her pull her mask down to take the drink. I said, no, the hell she didn't. No, the hell she didn't. She like Venom. Like, we are Venom. So then I ended up writing a funny ass poem about that. After I ended up going home with her fucking her that night, I wrote a funny poem about it, about the experience. That part was just a joke. But I did end up writing a poem about the experience in the style of Dolomite, which is also one of my favorite comedians. If you want to hear it, I got you. So what I need y'all to do, without further ado, I need y'all to close your mouth and open your motherfucking ears, because the spirit of Dolomite is here. This thing that I wrote might leave you in stitches. It's about nice looking bodies or ugly ass bitches. And it go a little something like this. She got that $1 million body, food stamp face. Only time I'm calling shorty, food stamp day. If she get them on the 4, they'll be gone by the 8. And then I'm out the door. Hey. Now I'm sick and tired of walking in these motherfucking clubs and seeing ugly women acting all stuck up. You think that you bad because you got a fat butt? Girl, you look like a mutt. Only one word describes your face. Disgusting. Just by looking at your hair, I could tell you didn't brush it. And the color of your teeth, Dijon mustard. Your coochie looks like the forehead on Little Uzi after they grabbed his jewel and plucked it. Man, she got a donkey in the ass, but a horse in the face. Is she a 9 out of 10? Nah, more like a 4 out of 8. You call yourself a cutie? Get the fuck up out my face. You belong in a movie. Rabbit of the Ace. You and Holly Berry are not the same. You must got perks and mollies on your brain because you look like Trina Dad James mixed with Waka Flocka Flame. She got that $1 million body, food stamp face. Only time I'm calling shorty, food stamp day. If she get them on the 4th, they'll be gone by the 8th. And then I'm out the door. Hey, 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 hey. Now, if I hit it from the back, girl, don't you turn around, because that face will make a nigga's dick go down. Because your hips, boom, pow, but your lips, ooh, ow. And please don't speak to me if you see me in your town. But you can hit me up when the sun goes down. After 6 shots of liquor and a blunt of that loud, because by that time, my judgment in the clouds. So I'm going to hit it for a minute, then I'm gone and out. Girl, you really got some nerves, thinking that because you got some curves that you the baddest on this earth when you've been ratchet since your birth. J.C. Penney, baby, know your worth. She got that $1 million body. Yeah, I know how the rest go.
There y'all have it, fashion dolls. There y'all have it. Again, laughter is medicine, and I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. I've had a great time thus far. And
Likewise.
again, Noli, thank you so much for setting this up, and we hope you all take away from something. Live, laugh, love. So before we wrap up, Damon, what are some gems that you would like to leave with everybody today in our interview?
I just want to say, like, let people be people, because we all different, like just honestly, like when I first, when shout out to Noli, because Noli always inboxing me, throwing stuff in there, what I mean? And I know, like a lot of times the opportunity that she put in there, like, hey, here's this link for there, here's this for that. A lot of times, a lot of that stuff is like, all right, that's there. I can't even cuss that, but I can revisit this and that. But when she told me about the interview, she described the platform and everything. She was like, "You care about that?" I'm like, "For what?" Because at the end of the day, we all human. Like I'm 6'11", 285, and I'm into cosplay. You know what I mean? I will dress up like a Power Ranger and go to Comic-Con and be out there, go Power Rangers. Now, my a lot of my friends and stuff don't do that shit. But guess what? I'm still gonna do it because let people be people. Everybody got, everybody. We all can love each other. We don't have to have the same beliefs, as long as we got the same values. But at the end of the day, I don't care what you believe. Right is right, wrong is wrong, hate is hate, love is love. You know what I mean? And respect is respect. And
Absolutely.
that's going to get
Absolutely.
you, yep, because this game is not about, honestly, it's not about what you know or how funny you are, it's who you know. Because you can be the funniest person on earth and get blacklisted just because you hard to work with or just because people don't like you. And, we will never ever see that talent. So just be
Absolutely.
humble, be good.
And my final thought is about rest. Make sure you guys are resting. Rest is a form of resistance against burnt out and exhaustion. And I also want to say something as well to make sure that you live, love, laugh to the fullest, because life is not promised to anybody. We've lost so many icons this year alone, from Quincy Jones,
Oh,
just to name a few, to so many others. Live, laugh, and love, because life is too short and tomorrow is not promised. Time is of the essence. So make sure that you are taking time for yourself. Self care is critical. And that is something that I'm going to keep encouraging you all to do as well too. So this show today was very therapeutic for me. When I was talking with Damon, I said, I want this show to be about an escape for everybody. I want everybody to have an escape and getaway, because we are in some heavy, dark times. And what's about to come is going to be even darker. So we need to be
mm,
living, loving, and embracing each other more than ever. Stevie is my sister, period. Thank you, Noli. And thank you, Noli, for setting this interview up. I
facts,
had
no,
such a great time. And we got to set this up again. We got to set something up with Damon again. I would love to have him back on, because we need more laughter. We need more laughter in these dark times. This upcoming administration does not like laughter. He doesn't like to be laughed at, but I think we need laughter
Definitely.
in this world to get us through these dark times and through some of the darkest, the heaviest. So much going on, but we need to smile. We need to laugh. And that gets you a long way. And it makes you live a long, healthy life. So remember that, Fashion Dolls. Joining me next week, we have Jonathan J.P. Perry, who is coming on Monday. So make sure you guys tune in. And Damon, where can everyone follow you and check you out?
You can check me out on Instagram at just_Demond, or you can catch me on TikTok at Demond611.
All right, Fashion Dolls. And there you have it. You guys can check out this interview on Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. Make sure you guys go on over there and subscribe. Thank you all so much for tuning in throughout the week. No show tomorrow, but you can catch up this week's past shows up on Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. So make sure you go head on over and subscribe and check out all of the interviews there. It's been a great week. I want you guys to protect your peace. And again, find laughter, find love, and find joy. More importantly, protect your peace and take care of yourself, dear friends. I love you all, Fashion Dolls. Take care, everyone.
Peace.